All right, this is exciting. All right, well, before I get started, I just want to say sincerely thank you for coming, because it's crazy out there and you made time, so thank you, and I mean it. All right, so let's get started. I want to make sure my clicker works. All right. It is 3 a.m. in rural Texas, and Maria wakes up with chest pain. She's alone. She has no cell phone coverage, and the nearest hospital is 70 miles away. But the good news is she's really not alone. You see, she's got this coin-like device over her chest, and that device is connected to a satellite, and that satellite is talking to a cardiac team 500 miles away. And her primary care doctor, as a result, calls her and says, "Maria, your heart is in danger. We're picking up some funny rhythms, and one of them is really dangerous. Help is on its way." You are not alone. Man, that sounds like science fiction, but it's not. You see, we are able to do this today. But as a doctor, one of the things that haunts me is where you live will determine whether you live. I'll say it one more time because I really want you to take that in. Where you live will determine if you live. Man, that really scares me because as an emergency room doctor, I've been doing it for about 20 years. And trust me, I have been pulled into one room. "Hey, Dr. Castro, you need to deliver. Hey, Dr. Castro, we need to intubate this patient. Hey, you got to come and go." And it's like, holy cow, this is craziness in the emergency room. But it's organized chaos. It's a place where I feel like it's a lot of science, but there's a lot of connection. You see, one day, one particular evening, little Jimmy literally changed my life. You see, Jimmy, he's 7 years old, came gasping for air. He had asthma, could not breathe. He looked scared. His eyes were wide with fear. He was flailing in the medical world. It's just your muscles are just going in and out, your face. And he was holding his mom's hand, saying, "Mom, I can't breathe." And every second, you could just see that he's not breathing. Luckily, we were able to bring back his lungs, and he was able to breathe. So then I decided, I don't want Jimmy to suffer again. How can I give him the best discharge instructions? So I started reading them. And I'm like, what 7-year-old is going to understand this? So I took those papers, threw them away. And instead, I got this piece of paper, and I started drawing a coloring book. And what I did is I created a little monster. And then that monster was the dust mites attacking his lungs. And then I created a spacer. And the spacer was a superhero inhaler that was really like a blaster. And so he could blast those monsters. And so then I made this coloring book, and I said, "Here, Jimmy, here you go." Man, that night was the first time I saw that kid smile because I handed it to him. And then as he was looking through it, I could see he understood what that book was about. He understood his disease process. And I thought, man, I am connecting with him. Thank you, Jesus. And so then I thought, wait a second, this is awesome that I'm helping Jimmy because he's coming through those ER doors. But what about all the people that didn't make it to my ER? I mean, it really broke my heart. I thought, what about the people that died, that couldn't make it? So then I was like, man, this is haunting me. Like, as a doctor, it's like, what can I do? I can only help you if you're here. But what if I can help you when you're not? So I started thinking, well, I had this rancher in Texas that was 5 hours away when he started having a stroke. And it really broke my heart because we only have a certain window. And we called it that hour, a golden hour of taking care of those patients. And he was stuck in a dusty road trying to get to me. And I thought, man, this is horrible. Like, how can I do more for my patients? And so when I started thinking more about it, I thought, well, Jimmy, I'm helping. This rancher can't get there. Well, there's got to be something. Can we change healthcare to help humanity? And so then I thought, well, what if we change healthcare like a nervous system where it literally reaches out to everybody here, no matter how far you are, where we can collapse that distance to be able to take care of you. And so the more and more I thought about it, I said, we need some core things to help humanity. And in my mind, we need 3. We need satellites, we need AI computing, and then the third, we need some kind of edge technology. And so as we start thinking about it, how can we do all of this? And so I started thinking, well, satellites. Let me ask you guys, when you came here today, did you use a map app to get here? I see a lot of heads, yes. What if that app didn't work? Some of us couldn't get here, right? Because we're so dependent on it, right? What if that app wasn't just a simple map, but your mother's heart monitor, where now this technology is so important? I was thinking more and more about this, and I said, wait a second. What if there's a hurricane? What if there's an earthquake? Then the infrastructure's gone. And if we're so dependent on this technology, like firefighters are using this technology to fight wildfires. But if the technology is not working because of that natural things that I just mentioned, what happens? What happens if there is some parts of the world where you go and it's a dead zone because there's zero internet? And as you know, when you guys are driving there, you're like, man, I hope nothing happens to me because I have no way to connect with anybody. So then I thought, we need an alternative. What's that alternative? To me, it's pretty simple. We need to use the sky as our lifeline, or as our second responder. And so then I thought, well, Maria, she's got this patch and is communicating with the outside. What if our chests, these patches, are heard from the heavens? What if we can use this technology to save lives? So then I thought, man, these data centers and rapid things are working so fast that you can make a call and it'll travel faster than your fear itself. So as the more and more I thought about it, I thought we really need to embrace this. And so I thought edge computing is something, and for you to, let me explain what that is. Big picture, there's a lot of data. Everyone here, if I'm taking your heartbeat, I'm taking your voice analysis, that's a lot of data. Think of billions and billions of data. But if I use that data and I wait for Wi-Fi, it would take forever. It would make not any sense. But if I could use this information and only send the information that's abnormal, like in Maria's case, that abnormal heartbeat, that's what was sent. And for some of us that are a little older, you remember the Polaroid camera where you would take a picture and it would give it to you right then and there? And for the younger guys, they're Googling it right now. So how would that work? Well, basically, these devices is picking up on things. And it's not sending all my data. It's only sending what is needed. And so I thought, man, this would be amazing. But what about AI, the third piece? How can we make AI help humanity? And I know a lot of us are like, well, Dr. Castro, this thing is going to replace me. Hey, Dr. Castro, this is an issue. I'm here to say I'm not worried about this replacing me. I feel like, if anything, it's tapping me on the shoulder and saying, hey, Dr. Castro, did you see that CAT scan? Did you see that MRI? Did you see that tiny blip? I missed it. And the stakes are too high when I make a mistake. People literally die. So there's no room for error. And unfortunately, we know there's no human person on earth that's perfect. And so we need something, to me, that is that AI. And so I started looking more and thinking, well, this is amazing technology, but what are the ethics in this? See, this innovation is awesome, but if it has zero consciousness, it's just code. So we need to do something about this so that we can really help. If the AI is really good, it will scale my care and it will be amazing care. But if the AI is bad or biased, then I'm actually scaling the bias. I'm making it worse. One example is, if this group on my left is AI trained and I'm training only this population, then the AI will do amazing at diagnosing this side, but it'll be dangerous for the rest. And it's not that AI is malicious, it just has incomplete data. So how do I fix that? I fix it by creating data that has everyone, but let me start with the least represented person, so that that data controls and has everyone. So if I'm able to do that, now I'm helping people to another level. And I thought, man, how can I make this even better? And I thought, we must help humanity. And it takes a village. It takes all of us here. And so, sorry. And so I started thinking, well, how can I make sure that Maria's okay? Well, when I send Maria's data, I'm only sending her abnormal heartbeat. I'm not sending all of Maria. I'm not stealing her identity. I'm only sending that one part. That's one way of protecting her. Another part, I thought, with her, what's happening with Maria? Well, the good news is Maria made it to the emergency room. She got a plan. She was able to have that patch, and she went home with that patch. And what was good is that the system stayed close, but her doctor stayed closer. And I thought, man, that is the best way to deliver care. So as I started thinking more and more about all this, I thought, how can I even help to another level? In big picture, I thought, we must use this, I must teach others, and collectively we need to move better. Because if the system is working correctly, then I'm able to take advantage of it. A couple of things I want to say is, medicine today, it's all about proactive medicine, meaning you only come when you're sick. But wouldn't it make more sense to get alerts to tell you, hey, it's proactive medicine. If you do not sleep more, you will have cancer in 10 years. If you are trying to lose weight and you're not sleeping, you're never going to lose weight. We need to be more proactive. So I want to leave you with 3 quick symbols. One is the satellite. Think of it as a nervous system. 2, edge technology, where it's processing, it's quick. 3, AI is not here to replace me. It's here to help me. It's not going to reduce me. It's going to increase my reach. The last thing I want to say is, at the end of the day, we're in an age of division. But instead of division, we're calling for unity. We're in an age of silence, but let's listen more to each other. And we're in an age of distance, and let's change that future and write a future where it's together and we're writing it as one. Thank you.